What's up, everybody? My name is Bobby. It is December 15th. This is episode 251 of The Casual Hour, a podcast ostensibly about video games, but mostly about Game of the Year Part 2. Welcome. Hope you're having fun. Joining me, that one right there is Chase Kinnicky, the gamer on the go, and beneath him, always and forever, Johnny Amizich. How are you two doing?
I'm good. My hair looks smaller tonight.
What'd you do different? Did you condition it?
You know, the humidity today, it makes it... It's like that Shania Twain song, My Hair Went Flat. Man, I hate that.
Your hair looks bigger because I shaved a little bit here.
I will be getting a haircut on Friday, I think. So,
what kind of haircut you
that's
going for?
That's our big debut. I'm just going to shave it all off.
I'm going to go for a haircut too, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm due for a good shave. Hey.
Get your beard trimmed up?
Oh, I'll tighten it up a little bit. Tighten it up.
I think that you should grow a twirly mustache.
We got shit to do.
Yeah,
guys.
we got shit to do, Johnny.
Okay.
Here's the deal. If you have not been tied into what we've got going on, this is part 2 of the casual categories. We have in the past done this in one setting where we go to Chase's apartment, we do all of this shit in one day, and then we chop it up and send it out when we were a podcast only. But now that we are pro streamers, we decided that we were going to take it to the streets and do it the right way. And so tonight is part 2 of our categories. If you have not seen part 1, you don't have to watch it to watch this one. So you're not going to miss out on a whole lot, but go back and watch it. We cover a lot of cool shit on that one. This Friday, we're going to be getting together to discuss our top 10. So come back on Friday. We'll give you our personal top 10s, and then we'll also be giving you the official number crunched casual hour top 10.
Yeah, and that's usually more of like a relaxed fit. Like that's...
Yeah, there's no more arguing. I mean, there is some arguing potentially to be done. I'm telling you guys, it's not arbitrary. I'm not saying it to be arbitrary, but just because we run the numbers to see what mathematically would be the game of the year, that doesn't have to be it. We can tip the scales if we feel like we need to.
No, you do this. You do this every year.
On there.
Chase is like, Chase will do everything by the books until it doesn't work in his favor. And then all these rules become arbitrary. Yeah. It's like, I can do this. I can put my own clips in here. I can do this one. Oh, our numbers don't matter. I don't count our game of the year from 2020 as our game of the year because I didn't like it as much. That's not how it works.
I do count it. I didn't like it. So I did like it. That was like my second favorite game of the year. I was fine with that.
Colin, casual categories. Colin in chat is asking, what is a casual category? Well, we've got a few to get through. There's plural categories. Monday night we did a lot. I think we did 7 or 8?
Decent amount.
We're going to do that again tonight. And to kick it off, tonight we're going to be jumping into a big one, which is our best...
Yeah. Sorry, before we start, last time we did this, we started with kind of the easier ones where we eased ourselves in a bit. We did the individual categories. We didn't have to have arguments. We're jumping right in with arguments here. Also, just to kind of help you out, if you like the old Giant Bomb Game of the Year back when Giant Bomb was good, they're still pretty good. But back when they were Giant Bomb. That's kind of what we're doing. We've taken some categories. We have some fun ones. We have some general ones. Like some of the ones we did Monday were like best style or most graphics, that kind of stuff. And then we've got a bunch of fun ones here. And Bobby, why don't you start us off and get us going?
Absolutely. So we're going to be running through all these clips. The first one we have up here. Now we're not going to say who nominated it. If they want to speak up, they can. But this is
the category for our listener friends, people who aren't watching but listening to the.
Yeah, I already did. I said that we were going to be talking about our best moment. Or did you cut me off?
I think I cut you off before that.
Oh, yeah. So shocker.
I know.
We're going to be great start.
We're going to be talking about our best moments of the year, which is going to be super exciting. So we've got best moment or sequence coming up. Hey, you got to let me finish, Chase. If you want me to do it, you got to let me do the bit. And the first one we've got up is our Outriders. So we're gonna take a quick look at this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll explain it a little bit after.
So I didn't have this blue last night for me, but apparently you will allow me to jump over this now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow! What a leap! That's pretty great.
Oh my god, that fucking jump was so stupid.
Wait, what?
So just a caveat. No, that it's fantastic. So a caveat with this category, just so you guys know, on Monday, the first part of categories when we did this, we did the best casual clips, which were specific clips from our quick looks or from our streams, and so the difference between those clips and this, even though this was a clip from one of our streams, like those I feel like were more like transformative moments because of us being there or something that the chat did. Like those kind of felt separate. These are things that are repeatable, things that show up in a game. Like maybe it can be a clip like this, but it's something that you would have experienced if you played Outriders as well.
Oh my god!
Those fucking jumps.
It's black. It went to black.
No. Yeah, it went to black. It has to hide a load.
We got to load all these assets. Hang on.
Absolutely. They're hiding a load in there, and so they have to fade to black and do the little tiny jump that takes a second and a half, and then fade back to black to fade up the rest of the game. And they have to do that every time. And I think that's still in the game, right, Bobby?
Yes. The jump is.
The
jump stays.
It's not something they can fix because it's hiding loads for them.
Sure.
It's ridiculous. It's not going to win. It's not going to win this category, but it's hilarious, and it was also in there. Bobby, before you go to the next clip, also I had listed here. I don't know if you have the list pulled up, but I have the Presage mission from Destiny 2. I know you and I went through that and had a really good time with it. We're not going to show a clip here because it's a relatively long sequence. It's a good mission. It's a derelict ship, and you have to do some interesting puzzling. There are a couple of good combat encounters, but I think the puzzle stuff, it's not super hard puzzles, and at least the normal version isn't timed. So you can kind of just explore this ship and figure things out. And it was really fun to bounce around and try different things and just explore the ship and see what happens. Sure. And then at the end, you get an incredibly cool gun called the Dead Man's Tale. It's a scout rifle, but it looks like an Old West Winchester kind of rifle looking thing. And it's got a great sound to it. It's a really fun gun. And then you can go back in the mission through a harder version that is timed to get the catalyst for the gun that makes it even better. It was a really cool Destiny thing in a year where I think most of the Destiny stuff was a little kind of whatever. This was a big bright spot for Destiny 2 this year, I thought.
Absolutely. The next one that we're going to take a look at here is one called the Gnome Dance from Everhood. So let's check that out.
I'm also going to mute myself so I can listen to this.
Chase, how much of this do you want me to play?
That's probably good. Let me explain this one a little bit. So Everhood is like a reverse rhythm game. Bobby, you actually are the one who introduced me to this, but we had a really fun time with this particular moment that we had where you have these notes flying at you, and unlike Rock Band where you're trying to hit the notes on the note highway, and here these are obstacles that you're trying to avoid, so you're just kind of bouncing back and forth on this note highway. And this thing, it shows up pretty early in the game. It's only like the third or fourth
into what happens. It's crazy.
Yeah, these are kind of like battles that you're going through, and you find these gnomes, and it's just kind of out of nowhere where the gnomes just kind of go like, "Oh, hey, we're doing a thing now," and you're in this, and they're like, "Okay, this seems pretty standard." And we cut off like 5 minutes that goes on before this, where it just feels a little standard, and then this happens where it starts to almost feel like it's glitching out, where it's leaving the trails of everything. You're like, "Oh, that's kind of fucked up. Is something fucked up with my game?" And then the gnomes jump out, and then, as you saw, they start kind of tilting the stage and actually flying it around. And as they fly it around, it even goes upside down at one point, and you still have to keep up with what is left and what is right, even though you're upside down now. It is a really interesting sequence.
Yeah,
that
the game is very cool.
Yeah, and this is the moment that you go like, oh, this game is way more than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's also got fantastic music. It's got a pretty, I wouldn't say it's a great story, but it's really interesting characters, and it's doing kind of an Undertale, kind of an Earthbound thing, and it's pretty cool. People should definitely check it out. It was one of those kind of surprise games for me, and I don't even really like games like this generally, but I had a really cool time with this one, and this sequence I think was the best part of it.
Absolutely. So that was the Gnome Dance from Everhood, and the next one is going to be a clip from a little game called Unpacking.
Yeah, I think this one's really quick.
Yeah.
So I get it. You had, oh, maybe not. I thought you could put it between the refrigerator and the sink. Suppose not. So I get it. It's the hat. Oh, it's got to go under the bed. It's pretty sad. So I get.
God, that was,
man.
Yeah.
So that was like some of the most impactful non-verbal storytelling I think I've experienced in a game in a very, very long time. And it's just,
I feel a little bad that I talked over it in the moment, but it's because I'd already experienced this in the game and had forgotten about it at that point when you were replaying it, and it's just really, really good.
Yeah, man, it's a really brutal thing to have to do, and there's a lot more to that story going on there. And
yeah, I mean, to give it a little context, that game is about unpacking different rooms as you move into different rooms in your stages of your life. So like you unpack a kid's room, you unpack your college dorm, you unpack a first time with roommates, and in this one you unpack in an apartment that you are now living with a guy and a boyfriend, I guess. And you're realizing as you're going through this place, like there's not a bunch of space for my stuff. And the moment that you saw right there is where it really goes in, that your diploma, the only place that your diploma can go is under the bed, because that's how little you matter in this relationship. And then the game continues on from there. But that's a really good moment that, like Bobby said, totally nonverbal. There's nothing made special about that moment other than what you bring to it, and it's just a really, really good moment.
Yeah, and I had spent a better part of that playthrough trying to find a spot that I thought would be really good for that diploma, only to have it fucking shoved under a bed. The next one is going to be from a game called Toem, and this is called The Mountaintop.
That's probably enough. Like it really is. Like Toem, again, the context. Toem's a game that's in black and white. It's about photography, and for this final moment, once you've summited this mountain, you've gone on your big grand adventure to be rewarded with the only color in the world as this big aurora that pops out of this crystal once you take a photo of it. I thought was just a really moving moment to me of, hey, wow, I feel like I really accomplished something. You really finished your journey and had a really good time doing it. And like that's you went on an adventure. You started in your house. Your mom kind of said like, hey, you should get out there and see the world, and then you do. And it's just a really good capper on a really great game.
Yep, absolutely. Agree completely with that. The next one here is going to be the opening chapter from Jet the Far Shore.
I think I clipped this so we don't have to play it super long. It's a really good long sequence, but this moment is pretty good. Like this is the end of chapter 1. This is the end of the kind of the prologue area, and you guys are driving your jump ship to this big city, and as you get out, you realize how big and important this moment is. You look around, you see a ton of people around you. Your partner even gives you a moment once you get up to some of these steps where he's like, hey, I'm just gonna stand here for a bit and kind of take it all in, and then you go up and you see that there's even more people, and you see a big rocket ship to space that you guys are about to get on, and you realize that for everybody here, none of their lives really matter anymore. You guys are the only people who matter because you're about to go to space. You're about to find these new lands where hopefully your race is going to settle and build and have a chance for hope in life, whereas none of these people do. They're all doomed. This planet is doomed. Everybody here is doomed. You're never going to see your family again. You're never going to see anybody again other than the people that go up in this rocket with you. And I think it's just a really good moment of, wow, there's an impact here. It's all on your shoulders. It gives you a lot of responsibility for your mission going forward. And then the game's good after that. But
yeah, it's pretty.
This first moment they absolutely nail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that when we spoke about the game on our show, we were even talking about like how impactful it was, and then we didn't talk about the game anymore because the rest of it
didn't have a good time with it. Yeah, it
control
doesn't control that great. It doesn't have the moments, or it might have those moments later. I just didn't get to them because I did not like the way the game played, and that sucks. Yeah. But this moment was awesome.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah, in every sense of the word awesome, it was awesome. It filled me with awe.
All right, Chase. Let's throw Stinky to the moon in Inscription.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, do the stink bug. Then you'll just reduce his power. He won't be doing anything to us.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I think we just won. Bobby, I think we just won.
Wait.
That might be enough.
So,
like
regular?
Like that's kind of the point. Is you? I think more than making the moon stinky, it's just fighting the moon to begin with. I think this sequence, this kind of first time you beat Inscription, I think is really neat. That you've gone through these bosses, and which are just people. It's a fisherman. It's a coal miner guy, and now it's the fucking moon. You're fighting the fucking moon. And it feels impossible. This thing has so much health, and it does damage to all of your creatures at once. You go, how do you even stop it? Even though it's just doing 1 damage, the numbers are really important. Like, the numbers are small, so the numbers are really important. And there are many ways to just absolutely fuck over the moon. You can have a creature with death touch, so it will instantly kill anything it touches, including the fucking moon. And you have a couple other cards that I think can do it, but we have this stink bug card that Stinky is a status in the game that reduces an enemy attack by 1, which meant that the moon would be doing 0 damage every time.
Yep.
And they the moment I really like in that is that even the boss goes like, wait, did you just weaken the moon? How did you do that?
Yep.
And then we just instantly won. I feel a little bad in that clip because we poked our eye out earlier, so that's why you can't see some of the screen. Is we had to
naturally
make a little sacrifice, but I think that made the moment all the better. It's description's really, really good, and this was probably my favorite moment from it that I got to see, because I know the game goes in a lot of different places after that.
Yeah,
I'm interested in seeing those at some point once it's on a platform that I can play it on.
Absolutely. Cool. Johnny, we're gonna move over towards you here.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
We asked for clips, and Johnny gives us a half hour. So buckle up, everybody. It's going to be a long.
We don't have to watch very much of it. So there are many wonderful moments and sequences in Hitman 3. This level is one of the greatest levels in a video game I've ever played. So what's happening is this is a mansion where you're there to kill the matriarch of this family. That's your target. But someone has just died in their family, and you notice there's a private investigator walking to the gate, and if you have like hints turned on, it'll say like mission story developing. If you take this guy out, you don his disguise, and you can spend that whole mission unraveling the mystery of what happened to this member of this family. And you talk to everybody. 47 makes his dry quips that are just always so good.
Mr.
And
Whitman, thank you for coming on such
at the end of it, you find out who committed the murder. And
so you can actually play this mission without becoming the private investigator.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. I thought you got defaulted to that.
There's like a milkman out front. I thought whenever we played this, Johnny, that you could dress up as or something like that.
Yeah, or you can, because there's a hole in the fence, you can climb through. You can get up to the house. You can take someone else's disguise.
Are you still solving the mystery at that point, or
no, that's what's so cool is like you can just miss this entirely.
There's just a whole different way of playing the game if you.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite things that's happened in a game this year, especially just the level itself, the way it's laid out. It's all like it's very Knives Out. These family are all very. They'll be nice in front of each other, and then when the other one leaves the room, they're like, "So did you know that someone's like, trying to pit you against them?" It's so good.
I think the other Hitman 3 moment you got here is pretty good too.
It's better.
It's really good.
It's better.
So this is more of a higher higher concept. This is just comedy.
The fucking Kanga hat just ties this whole thing together here.
Yeah. So this is at a winery, and if you you can give a toury of this winery, and they make a lot of wine. They have an industrial grape crusher, and you can guide your target into said grape crusher. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What I really like.
I thought I clipped it to show at the time when it happened, but apparently that didn't happen.
I'm glad you didn't when I watched this, because I enjoyed going. Okay, I know you kill her with the grape press, but who was dumb enough to walk under the grape press and to have? I like the way that they set it up. It's quite good.
It's just goo. It's just red goo.
Oh my god.
The thing that bothers me is that nobody notices.
It's like, that's fine.
And then it's just like, oh yeah, like she had to leave, and everyone's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And like, no, you didn't see she just got crushed right behind you. Like your back wasn't even turned.
The first time I played this level, that's how I eliminated that person, and it was completely organic. Like and they take.
Oh, she's organic, all right.
You know, because there's like 4 different things that you can use to kill this person. You're giving it. You're like, oh, hey, this is the thing where we blast it with hot water to get the peel off, and you can do something there. You can lock her in the freezer, and then I was like, okay, that's good. And then in my version, 47 was the vintner, and so he's explaining how this equipment works, and he's like, and this is our industrial grape crusher, and I think he kind of invites the woman to take a look at it. And she's in there, like, and looking. I was like, "Oh wow, this is really impressive." And then you just flip, crash. It's so good. And this next one is from Rune King, and there's one of the main characters is named Braum, and his ult. Like, let's just play the clip because I just like it because it's so good. I think Bobby,
right?
And that's it.
It's very good. Braum's pretty all right.
I like Braum. He's a good guy. Okay. This next one, there wasn't a clip that I could find because there are so many different ways that you could play this out, but in Halo Infinite, there's this level called the Conservatory, and you get to a part where it's this arena, and you think you're about to leave, and then these flying enemies show up, a bunch of brutes come in, and on each side of the room, there's a grav lift. And, you have the weapons that you're equipped with, but then there's also weapon racks on all sides of this room. And one of the ways that you can get through this mission is by going back and forth between these grav lifts, and just the way that it flowed, like I was jumping up in the air and then using the grapple shot to swing around to another side of the room, and it was just one of the best moments in a game I've had this year. It was so incredibly satisfying and fun. I'm playing on heroic, which is a little bit more difficult, and you die a lot. And I didn't die once in that room, and it like because I was not really. But man,
Halo has always been known for its big set piece.
Mm-hmm.
Combat arenas, and it's good that even though they've gone to this kind of open world setting, that they have still been able to keep that.
And I don't know if you've gotten there yet, Bobby, or not. I assume you have, but I talked to my cousin, I told him about that, and he's like, oh yeah, he did it a completely different way.
You're talking about where you have to stop the laser that's going into the ruin?
No, it's like you put the weapon out on this pedestal thing, and these flying enemies come down out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's that mission.
That's
so.
Yeah, so to get into that point, it's a Forerunner fortress, and there's a big ass laser. It's a really fucking cool moment. It is cool, absolutely cool.
Yeah. It's great. Anyway.
We're going to bounce back to Chase for one more here. A late addition from Chase. This is from the game Montage, and this is the Cannonball Sequence.
Yeah, I just thought the sequence was really cool. I can talk over it as you play it, but this game, you have this cube in the middle that you see here, and each side of the cube shows a different scene, and you're able to line these things up to work in different ways. And this sequence, I think, is the best one because it requires a little bit of timing and also the main mechanic of lining stuff up. So you have to use these different sides of the cube to keep this cannonball rolling around into different parts of the environment to get to this top part of the cube where this kind of war games board is being played, and then the cannonball can destroy all the pieces up top and allow you to continue to progress. But most of the other sequences in the game aren't timed, or they have like one timed element to it, and I think this is the one where the game kind of comes all together. I usually don't like timed elements, but I like the way that this was the most Rube Goldberg machine of any of the kinds of puzzles that this one had going on. I just really liked the way that you trial and error it a little bit. That cannonball comes in, and you go, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? And then you see, oh, I can line this up, so now it actually rolls down to this part. Okay, wait, all right, so now I have to adjust this one to get it on the right track, and then do I need to turn this water spigot on to blow it out a little bit so that it can come back and roll back down in the right spot? It's just it's a really cool moment in a game that I think has some other pretty decent puzzles, but this is the one that stood head and shoulders above the rest. I think it's a cool game. It's a short game too. It's maybe like 4 hours. I beat it in an evening.
Wasn't this a PS Plus game?
No.
Am I thinking of something else?
No. This is on
PC and iOS
and PC.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe you saw it on our quick look. I don't know. You probably don't watch those. But yeah, it's something we put out.
It's a cool little game.
Yeah.
And this was a cool moment for me.
All right, friends. I'm going to tell you all a little bit about going into the house in Returnal.
Hate going into the house.
I'm not going to show all this clip, but
It's good.
Johnny, did you ever make it into the house?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you think the Housemarque devs played PT?
I absolutely think they did.
Always.
So
it's always
I'm
very
going to
much.
talk over this a little bit. There's some interesting things happening here. So this is a run-based game. There could be sequences where you don't even get into the house. One of the things I thought was really cool is that it does this whole thing in first person for this third-person game. And I thought that was a really neat effect. The other piece of it, too, is just the mind fuckery of you crash land on a planet and your house is there, as it was. And I think just going through that, like, further the psychosis that comes in with this, and like what starts to happen in the house, like these flashbacks. This happened very early in the game for me.
Yeah.
And it 100% fucked me up. I was like, what is going on in this game? And I had issues with the mechanics of the game, especially the save stating of the game, but this sequence, it really tickled my brain, especially around the fucked up, weird, heady sci-fi stuff that it was doing. I think it's really well executed. It was unsettling, but it wasn't too frightening for me. Very cool.
That's a good game, man.
It's a cool game. It's a cool game for sure. Speaking of cool games, what about a game that lets you fight a castle?
That I'm interested in.
Yeah. This was a cool fight.
Man. So fighting a
when I watched this... Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it. Go for it.
I was just going to say, because I haven't played this game. This is the first time I saw that or earlier tonight was the first time I saw this clip and saw this boss fight. And the only thing that disappointed me, because the rest of it is pretty darn great, is that when you finally beat it, you don't actually go through the door. Like he says, it's the guardian of the door. I wish that it would be like in Super Mario Brothers 2 when you beat that final eagle door and then you walk through it. I really wanted that out of this moment, but the rest of it is so good.
Yeah, I got really nervous when this first came up. I would have played like another 30 seconds here because I don't like Souls games, and I was like, fuck, this just got real Souls-like. But the design, the isometric approach to it, I thought was really well done, and I really dig what it's got going on here.
And this clip that you found, this dude dies, and also I didn't realize what the death sequence looked like, and I really like the way that you die in this game.
Yeah, dude. Death's Door is really fucking good. I like that a whole lot. So this next clip, let me just set it up here for you all because I'm not going to play all of it, but there's a very personal story I want to tell about how this happened with Deathloop. So we're going to talk a little bit about the cat and mouse element of invading a game. You can be in,
and this isn't your clip, right? This is a clip you found on the internet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can be invaded, but you can also invade. There's a whole multiplayer thing with that. So
and you can turn that off too if you don't like that, and it'll just be a CPU thing, right?
Yeah, so then it's not nearly as impactful. But those moments when you're being invaded in this game is really fucking special. And I think that the story I want to tell about this is one night I was playing, I got invaded, I was pretty far into the loop, and I had some big shit, and I was like, God damn it, I should have turned this off because I can't afford to lose this stuff tonight. And it was like down to the wire. Like we were going back and forth, and I finally fucking I was playing as Colt, the main storyline, and I killed the invader, Juliana here, and as soon as I did that, my phone goes off, and it's my cousin. He's like, I almost had you, you son of a bitch. I'm like, that was you? And I had no idea that was my cousin playing against me in this game. And
does it not give you the name?
No.
Oh, that's neat.
So I had no idea, and he's like, I almost had you. And it was just a really, really cool thing to have that happen in that game. So I think that the invasions, like I typically don't like that sort of thing. But man alive, it was so well done in Deathloop that I left it on and just fucking ran with it. It was,
and it always happens at the most inopportune time.
Yep.
You know, fuck, here's Juliana. I got to deal with this shit now.
Yep.
It's good. It's a good game.
The other thing I'll just
trophy
while we're talking about Deathloop here, let me see. So they're gonna show some stuff here. This is just a clip of the game plan, but I put down completing the perfect loop, and the whole premise of this game is that you want to be able to run through all the day and night cycles through the game and take out all your targets to end it. And the game is pretty on rails. Like, I think for a time loop game especially, like, it tells you when you've done something and when you need to do more of it. But that moment when you finally have everything lined up and you start your day and you're like, all right, this is it. I'm going to kill everybody and fuck the loop up, was such a cool moment in the game. And it's one that everybody can experience, and I think that everybody should experience, because you're running through this stuff a lot. But like that last one, like, it's almost like, all right, I've had all this practice. I feel really good. I know my beats. I know my steps. I'm going to do it. I got my loadout.
You've killed these people at least a handful of times each, right?
Yeah, like, totally.
And now it's time to do it all at the same time.
Yep. So I think that you should do that, because Deathloop fucking rules, and that sequence is so fucking good once you unlock it. So check that out.
Did you do it the way this guy did? The achievement, the cleanish hands, where you don't kill anybody else other than the targets?
No.
Okay.
No.
This guy, this clip that you found, this guy even took it a step further, where he didn't shoot a gun the whole time.
That's not how I like. So even when
and he didn't get seen.
Yeah. There was a lot of rats when I played Dishonored, if that tells you anything.
Yes, that tells me quite a bit.
Yes.
All right. Next clip. This is, by the way, spoiler. We should have said that earlier.
Yeah, big one. For all these games, but this one especially.
So, this is the Raven Beak fight sequence at the end of Metroid Dread. So I'm about to spoil some shit. Sorry, not sorry. But specifically, the suit.
Yeah. I think after the suit too. I watched this clip earlier tonight, and after the suit, the escaping, the timed escape, like every Metroid game does, I think is also really cool. Not even having played that game, just seeing what happens, I like. I also really like it because the other, what's the name of the studio? Can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember it either.
Mercury Steam.
Mercury's, yeah.
Thank you, Chase, for remembering. Good job, Brain. The other game that I played from them, which I played earlier this year, Metroid Samus Returns, it ends with an extra boss fight that the original game never had, that I think really sucks. When it's like right outside your ship. You've done everything, you get to your ship, and then it's like, oh, by the way, here's extra dumb boss fight. And it was long and it sucked. And this game does not do that. And I was like, maybe this game's good? I don't know.
Very fucking good.
Probably better than Samus Returns anyway.
So one of the things that's happening here is that your full Metroid DNA is coming out in this, and it's wild. But yeah, you should check that game out. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like I know you're not playing it, but I like the big fuck off laser you end up getting. Ooh, I also like that this boss fight is not really even a boss fight. Like this moment where you're fighting this big bad, it's kind of a bait and switch where it becomes a non fight, and I thought that was really, really cool. Because again, like I'm coming off Metroid Samus Returns, which added extra dumb boss fights, and for this one to say, hey, the actual final boss in this game, it's not. You get to do a really cool thing and enjoy it, and then you get to do the Metroid sequence of getting the fuck out of there. Yep. But also, even they turn that on its head, because now you have a big fuck off laser that just destroys everything in your path as you are escaping. And I don't even give a shit about this game. And I think
you should give a shit about this game, because it was really good. It was better than it should have been. I'll say that much.
That's possible. I played a Metroid game this year.
Moving on, this was one I put in here. This was wiping out villagers before you get sick in Resident Evil 4 VR. And
you're the only one with VR, so I would assume you're the one.
I love this clip where the guy's just caressing his knife before.
It's not a knife.
It's about to go down. God.
So I had never played or really watched too much of Resident Evil 4. Watching this clip though, I'm like, yeah, that seems like a game of this era. What was this originally, a GameCube game? It's like, yeah,
man.
that feels.
This is the reason. This and Smash were the reasons I got a GameCube.
Yeah. Man.
Mm-hmm.
So that was right before that wasn't me, but that made me very sick.
I bet because yeah, that game has normal, regular ass movement. Yes. It does have a teleport system too, right? You can do that.
Yep. All right, this last clip that I have here is from the game Chorus that just came out recently. There's an enemy faction in the game called the Faceless, and they have been showing up. Chase, this is the enemy type that was showing up whenever you and I did the quick look. And so you get through this portal that's in the game, and waiting for you in it is this giant fucking faceless manifestation. It's got a really cool element on how you're going to fight it, and you have to take away these arms that are coming off of it. There's a sequence of shooting these weak points that are rotating on its arms. And once you do that, it opens up this thing where you go through and kind of do like the Death Star runner sequence, and then you shoot the port, and it's just really fucking cool. So let's check it out.
Yeah, it's good. I liked when I watched this before, like especially this part where you're just running in, doing that sequence. I mean, it also reminds me of Star Fox because they absolutely took that same Star Wars and put in Star Fox. It's cool.
It's so good.
I also like once you get out of here and you're back into normal space, all the lasers that are showing up. There's mines everywhere. There's small lasers attacking you. There's these big orange ones that are showing up now. That are just everything is piling up on the screen, and because it's Chorus, it looks fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally get how this is
it was such a cool moment, man. I loved it. So that's Chorus, and that was the Faceless Manifestation boss fight. And I think that we've got one more clip here before we decide on this.
Okay. And this one was, I like it, but this is so in the game you can get this upgraded Sentinel beam that you can give to all these Marines, and you can load a Razorback up with these Marines, and they just fucking
didn't you
melt
say that
anything.
This like got so wild for you that this crashed your computer?
No, I don't think that did. But yeah, you can they go after a high value target, and it's just nothing. And you can like melts a ghost in a second. It's so dumb, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, just a fun, dumb, like moment in the sandbox.
Love it. Cool. Well, let's switch over to our list here and talk through it. I know that we're probably a little bit behind schedule right now.
Yeah, just a bit. We'll catch up though.
I think you can get rid of the Razorback thing.
We need to get rid of a lot more than that, buddy.
Yeah.
I think we each nominate 2 that we think are really deserving at this point.
Okay. I mean, both of mine are going to come from Hitman. The 2 Hitman sequence.
Jedi. You're going to keep both of yours, you said, Johnny?
The Hitman ones, you can get rid of Rune King. You can get rid of the Conservatory was more personal. So you can strike that one too. It was one of my favorite things I've done in a game this year. But I don't know.
Shift Alt 5, is that what it was? Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of that. I can get rid of wiping out villagers. It's a very good thing, but yeah. I think that we can get rid of, would you say, the Hitman ones, Johnny?
No, he wants to keep his 2 Hitman.
Keep the Hitman.
I think, okay.
Those are his 2 nominations.
Anything from you, Chase, that you'd want to cut?
The only ones from the ones that I nominated, the only ones I'm going to keep would be Jet the Far Shore and Everhood.
Okay. So we'll get rid of these 2 here. And then the mountaintop can go opening chapter, Stinky on the Moon. Very good, but gone.
Mm-hmm. It is quite good.
We'll get rid of the Cannonball Sequence. I think I can get rid of Going Into Your House from Eternal. And I am happy to get rid of Completing the Loop. I am fine to get rid of... Oh, man. This is kind of killing your darlings at this point in time.
Yep.
You got 4 here. We're each picking 2. You've got Fight a Castle, Cat and Mouse, Raven Beak, and the chorus one.
Yep. I'm gonna get rid of Fighting a Castle. I think where's that at on here? Johnny, can you get rid of that one for me?
Yeah.
And then we can get rid of the Cat and Mouse Invasions. That can go away, and that leaves me with Raven Beak and the Faceless Boss, I believe, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got the Gnome Dance from Everhood, the opening chapter of Jet the Far Shore, becoming the private investigator in Hitman 3, using the Grape Crusher in Hitman 3, the Raven Beak fight Metroid suit from Metroid Dread, and the Faceless Boss from Chorus.
All right, we
got to make some decisions now.
I will
can't
say
just cut our own stuff. We got to cut other people's stuff now.
I think that the Grape Crusher is a much better sequence than the other one that you have with Hitman.
I mean, it's definitely a better moment.
Yeah,
I mean, the private investigator, I get that it's over a whole sequence, and I know it sucks. I talked about how much this sucks on Monday. When you have 2 things from the same game, it's so easy to look at those and go, well, which one's the better moment from that game, right?
Because they're both really good.
Yeah.
But that whole thing is cool. It's a cool level. It's not a moment, though, right? Like that
sequence.
I mean, it's moment or sequence. We allow
sequence of events,
levels. We allow, like, I would think it's as much a thing as like the Presage mission was. I know we've cut that, but like that's what our criteria is. I don't
just
think we cut it just for that.
Here's what I'll say.
The Grape Crusher made me laugh.
It made me laugh, and you wanted to stream that specifically to show me because you liked it so much. You ended up doing the other level because you dig it too. But I think that in your heart of hearts, you know that Grape Crusher is fucking awesome, and that's the best moment out of that game. It is.
I guess I just admire what they did with that level.
Yeah, look,
how they committed to the bit.
It's good. It's really good.
It's interesting that they use. They try to find a way to shoehorn Hitman mechanics into a adventure game.
Yeah.
Like in one level. Like, hey, we tried to do this. Maybe it doesn't completely work, but it works enough to make you feel like this could be a cool other kind of game if we decided to go full in on this.
I'm going to cut another one of mine really quick. I'll cut Flying and Chorus. Here's the thing. Like, it's really cool, but when I think about that other sequence I have on here, there's such a story behind that sequence for me of like the accomplishment, because that last boss was fucking hard. Like, it's a really hard boss fight, and I ended up having a flawless victory on him when I finally got it. But I mean, Johnny will tell you,
I had to feel good.
It took me days to beat that guy, and
there is a boss fight. Like this is what happens after the boss fight.
No, leading up. So when you transform into the suit. You just finished that boss fight.
Yeah, so a boss fight happened, and then he's choking Samus.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's less than I thought. Like, you actually had to do the fight. I was hoping it was like a non
fight in the game, in my opinion.
I believe it. Okay.
So yeah, I'll leave Raven Beak on there for now. I can tell you right now, like, what my pick is on here.
Is your pick your one, or is your pick
my
one
pick
that somebody else?
My pick is one that's crossed out for some reason. It shouldn't be crossed out.
Which one?
The Diploma.
You should have nominated it. You didn't have to nominate yours. You can nominate that one if you want.
Yeah,
you want to bring it back?
It's a fucking. I think that is out of
Jedi's in the chat talking about that moment. I like that moment. I didn't like my other 2 moments more.
I didn't realize it was etched out. That fucking sucks. Like
we can bring it back. If you feel that strongly, if that's one of the 2 you would have picked, then let's bring it back.
Yeah, like take Johnny, get rid of my Metroid one, as important as that was, because I think I said it when we showed the clip. I said it when we streamed it. The amount of storytelling that happens in such a subtle way, it's mastercraft. It's fucking mastercraft. It's brilliantly done. And
it's quite good.
It does change it changed my perception the whole time, because I knew the guy was a piece of shit that you're moving in with. But the game,
just from his stuff, like look at his stuff. He's got his weights in the corner. Like this dude sucks.
We've all had like a roommate
he can't move his photos. Like look at this guy. He won't let you move his shit.
Yeah,
like some of it you can move. Like
look,
other
it might
stuff
not be the moment for you two, but for me, I think it's
it's a really good. It's my number 3. It's my number 3 moment. I feel like it could even be the number 2. I could take it over the Gnome Dance. So I'm happy cutting Gnome Dance. I think that's a really cool sequence.
The one that you should cut is Jet.
No! That's the only good thing about Jet, dude, and it's so good.
It's a bullshit fucking thing. It
almost makes up for the rest of the game.
It's so shallow.
It's not shallow. It's not shallow. It's 100% not shallow. This is so incredibly wrong.
Dude, that game sucks so fucking bad. And it makes
but this moment is not bad. This moment has hope. This moment has.
Does it not diminish what they established?
Oh, it absolutely does.
I think it holds it up even more. Like this thing was so good that this is the one diamond in the rough that is Jet the Far Shore.
No way, man.
It's really good. I mean, I'm telling you, we've got another category later on that we'll get to. That's about the game that made you feel the most, or whatever we call it. And I have Jet the Far Shore on there solely for this moment. It belongs here in moment. It doesn't really belong in the other one. This is where it should shine. It's a bad game, and this is a fantastic moment in that bad game.
Yeah,
I get that Unpacking is really good. It is a game that I like more than Jet the Far Shore, but
yeah, I can't get behind that one, man. I'm sorry, I can't get behind the Jet one.
Then we have to give it to the Grape Crusher one, because I wouldn't budge on mine either. Like the only thing is for us both to lose. Like I'm sorry, I can't do it.
That lady turns into a pile of goo.
I'll give. I don't like Hitman, and I will give Hitman this over that one, just because of how bad the game gets and how much they sour that.
It's not, but that's not it. This is best moment or sequence, not best moment from a game that you like.
I can't look past the rest of it. I can't look past
that.
And I didn't play.
That is just discounting. No. That just discounts the whole category. Then, like the category is best moment. What is the moment?
Is trying to shoehorn that moment into our best moment.
It is the best moment. No, it's a moment. Not. It's not best game. It's not under any of our other categories about what good games are. This is
long mark. It's not.
No, not by a damn sight.
This is.
That moment is not the best on the list by a stretch.
You're not even talking about the moment. You talk about the game.
That moment's impactful, sure, but at the end of it, like even in that clip we showed, the guy turns around, looks at a bunch of people looking at him, and he goes off, and then like it's forgotten, just like that game, forgotten.
Wow. If BioWare made this game and called it Mass Effect Andromeda, you'd be like, "This moment's great. Look at what happened." Game. It's just that Andromeda takes place after the really good moment they could have had, because they would have had to show Commander Shepard or some shit, and then that whole game is like Jet the Far Shore, garbage once you get to where you're actually going. They skipped the good part in Mass Effect Andromeda. This is the good part. It's. Let's give it to Unpacking. I'm not. I don't. The Grape Crusher's fun, but it's not good enough for me.
How important is this to you? Because you seem pretty up in arms about it. Like I think
it's pretty important, because I don't think Jet the Far Shore is going to get anything else deservedly so.
It doesn't deserve shit.
I just say deservedly so. It's not a fun game. This moment is pretty masterfully crafted in an otherwise pretty garbage thing.
It's a very ham-fisted way of trying to create people's emotions.
That's not true. Let's give it to unpacking. I think we all feel better about unpacking.
If I don't know, man, like if it really is that important to you, I'll take a sidestep. But like representing the casual hour, does it? Johnny hasn't played the game.
Nope.
Well, if we're only going by games that Johnny's played, then we'll never get to give anything a Game of the Year award.
I will bow out of this one.
I already crossed it out on our other note, not the note you guys are looking at. Wait a minute. Let's give it to unpacking.
I didn't vote.
Yeah, Johnny has to vote.
All right, Johnny. What do you think?
I think it should go to unpacking.
Okay, let's give it to unpacking. Yep. Done and done. From being cut early to winning the category. I like that moment. I nominated that moment. I like the moment. I just found
I am shocked you put the jet one that far into it. I'm so shocked.
It's great. It's a great moment. Right. It's a bad game. It's a great moment. I don't know what the problem is.
Here we go.
All right, Johnny. Let's bring up our least moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, a mercifully shorter list.
God.
Yeah. So we've got 3 on here for least moment. We've got
12. I want to scroll. You need to scroll.
Scroll there, Bobby.
What's up?
Yeah. It's not showing all the text.
Sorry. We've got 12 minutes and this big plot twist. We've got Bobby trying to play Halo Infinite.
I'm so mad already.
And we've got meeting.
You're mad. You're the one who wrote the thing, and we told you to cut the thing, and you left the thing on.
No. I put that back on there after I talked to Bobby.
Yes, and we shouldn't have. Go ahead. Continue on.
And we've got meeting Brett from Riders Republic.
Ugh.
All right, so it's obviously the first one, right? Do we want to say anything?
Yes.
Bobby, do you have to go on your rant about what happened? Have we already talked about this on the show before?
No, we haven't. I thought this was be Bobby's soapbox moment.
God damn it.
No, I'm not going to get into it. I exerted a lot of energy there to try and defend.
Let's just say, yeah, Bobby exerted a lot of time and energy to play a game that he should have been able to play for free, that he ended up having to shell out money on Steam to get to work on his computer. And it killed me because... Anyway,
so
yeah.
Is that... Bobby, do you know, at the very least, is this because of the PC Game Pass? Is everybody who's dealing with PC Game Pass dealing with this?
No, that's how I'm playing it.
Okay, it's still just an somewhat isolated.
The people who are experiencing this issue that I was experiencing are tied into the PC Game Pass. So like the biggest problem outside of like the clipping shit that was going on is that like I literally cannot get the game to load unless I delete a save and start a fresh run. And as soon as you stop and the game's over, and here's how I know it's fucked up. I can run this on the cloud, and it still does the exact same thing with my save file. So it's tied to the Game Pass, not even on the PC. It's just Game Pass that does it.
Yeah.
So I ended up...
Because my worry is about the Steam Deck. Like, if I were to try to play this game on a Steam Deck using PC Game Pass, if I have this problem...
I would assume by then it will be patched.
Well, by then, but like, there's going to be future games, and if like this is why I don't like PC gaming is because this kind of shit happens.
This is the first time I've heard of anything like this happening with Game Pass on PC.
So, but you've never heard of a PC game not working before,
dude? I've had no game that like shit ain't like it used to be with PC.
Totally, games. But like that's the thing is like I'm getting a Steam Deck. I'm still excited for a Steam Deck, but the reason I have not been a PC gamer, well, other than I don't like mouse and keyboard controls, is that getting a PC means digging into all of this potential future of fuck, this game doesn't work. I have to spend like a whole night trying to figure out a way to make this game work or with the settings to get onto the thing.
After almost 2 years, I've never had this happen to me once.
All right, hang on.
Yeah.
The way that you're not really, I mean, it's a PC chase, and yes, you're gonna have all those things, but on Steam Deck, those games have to be optimized for it. And if they're not optimized by the developer, there's a whole thing that'll let you know, like, hey, this game might have issues on this hardware. Like they showcased that in one of their dev series for that. I don't know, like, because I was talking with some people on Reddit that had a very different setup than I did when it came to their PC, and it was the exact same problem. Rory from Giant Bomb, same thing that was going on there. I think it'll get patched out. I can tell you that
they'll fix it. I mean, look how quick they fixed the Master Chief Collection. I'm sure they'll get to this one right away.
I don't know if this is a 343 thing. It might be like a Game Pass.
It could be. I'm just making a shitty.
But also, buying the game on Steam, and I'm having an absolutely great time with it on Steam. It works just as I intended it for it to. The only problem is that it does not support cross-save, and so it does not link up to your Microsoft account, so I can't access my save data with Game Pass. But I'm okay with that because I'm going to replay this game when co-op becomes available, and I will play that way then. So it's a terrible moment. It made me almost not play Halo this year. It's a really shitty moment. It really fucked me up. More than these other two did, but it's a very personal thing that, like, not everybody's going to experience. So it's more of a joke. But meeting Brett in Riders Republic is absolutely something that everybody should avoid.
What's up with Brett?
Brett almost made me quit. This game is a lot of fun. And when you get to this point, it was already bad enough. All the, like, lingo they were throwing around with the characters you meet when you first start the game, and then they introduce you to Brett. And
Brett is essentially if Pac's son became a real person.
Yeah.
And he's fucking terrible. Like, he is just...
I was about to defend Pac's son, but
the ultimate dude, bro.
Yeah.
He's referred, like, someone's like, he's a total ledge around here, as in legend. And is like the first thing is like, oh, did you have that shroom burger with, like, it just, oh,
it's
God.
Like Spicoli as a food truck.
I get it.
Yeah. But the real shitty thing here is fucking 12 minutes, and we don't have to spend a lot of time here. 12 minutes was some of the biggest bait and switch bullshit I've seen in gaming.
I've never been so mad at a video game in all my life. Maybe that's exaggeration.
Can we quickly recap what actually is the big plot twist that sucks?
You're banging your sister, or you want to bang your sister.
No, you are. Your sister's pregnant with your child.
You find out you're married to your... Wait.
You were under hypnosis by your dad, and he's showing you, like, this will never work out if you continue this path of...
this is all in your fucking head?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so that's the loop. Like, you're trying to find any possible way that you can continue having incestual sex with your sister, and it's just, you got Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, and who's the guy?
I know. Professor X. I don't know his name.
Yeah, like 3 very talented actors.
And this is made by fucking Annapurna. Or not made by, but published by Annapurna.
It's just, and when you first start it, you're like, oh, this is okay, man. This it really gets you. It's like,
cool
oh,
concept. It's cool.
This is fucking great. And then you're trying all these different things, and then as you finally unlock more and more of the story, you're just like, wait, what?
Dude.
Okay. That's
pretty bad.
It's
bad.
Terrible.
It's bad.
It's terrible.
It's fan fiction. It's terrible. Meeting Brett, literally, like, Brett was so bad that I uninstalled the game. As soon as I met Brett, I literally stopped playing and uninstalled the game.
Okay, so hang on here, because we have... I don't want to spoil other categories, but we do have a category. We've done it every year. Most disappointing game.
Well, this doesn't win that because of reasons.
Okay. All right. I just wondered if this is like a disappointment of the game, or if this is just...
It can win both.
It could. It absolutely could win both. I'm not saying it disqualifies one to win the other.
God,
so, okay, 12 minutes,
so
big plot twist.
I hate it.
Wins the least moment category. right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay. Yeah, congratulations.
I think.
Okay.
Whoa,
This next what?
Oh.
I just Johnny, I did the same thing.
Oh,
Johnny,
you guys are playing.
We're
Jesus
good.
Christ.
We're good.
Yeah, this next one, thankfully, another short category, right? One that won't be contentious at all.
Yeah, we're gonna be working through best debut, which we had to do some last minute changes. So best debut is just that, a game that is debuting for the first time.
Yeah, we've done this. This one stayed the same. The other one has changed.
Right. We just had to take some stuff that was mixed up
in the other one and put it in this one. Yeah.
So with that,
but like you said, this is either like based on a new IP. I think we also allow like a studio's first game if their first game is a licensed game. That usually doesn't happen, but for the most part, I think we're here to like we don't want to just call it best indie game because that also feels a little like what is an indie game at this point. So it's just like, hey, this is a game that isn't based on anything else. This is a game that's new and interesting and does something different. Yeah. And that's where best debut comes from.
So I'll run down this list really quick for you all, and then we can start to cut some stuff. Loop Hero, Nuts, Everhood, Sable, Dodgeball Academia, Boyfriend Dungeon, Eastward, Toem, Unpacking, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Fantasian, Grifflands, Power Wash Simulator, Inscription, Dungeon Encounters, Electhead, Deathloop, Solar Ash, Fights in Tight Spaces, Potioncraft, Tender Creature Comforts, Death's Door, Word Web, Townscaper, Next Space Rebels, Mind Scanners, Returnal, Kina, Bridge of Spirits, Lost in Random, Chorus, and White Shadows.
I always love this category because look at like this is one of our longest categories, longest amounts of nominees, and I think that's awesome.
Such
like,
depth and breadth between the types of games being represented here. It's awesome.
Like when the industry can feel like it's another Call of Duty, it's another Madden, it's another of the same old shit again and again, or even and not that these games are bad, not all of them, but like the Marvel vacation of everything. It's like another fucking Marvel game. Like that Spider-Man game's good, but we get a Spider-Man game, then we get a Miles Morales game, now we're gonna get another Spider-Man game. Jesus Christ! And so for us to have a big list of brand new IP that does really cool stuff, this category always gives me hope, and that's awesome.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's tell them which one of these games suck shit.
How do we want to approach this?
Pick two that you want to get rid of.
That you want to get rid of?
Okay.
I'll
go first. I think we can cut Sable because I don't think enough people played it for us to really know.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think I can also cut Fantasian for the same reasons. Fantasian would probably be up there for me if I actually got to play it.
Okay.
But I didn't.
I think that we can cut Grifflands. It's a really cool game. I think that it just had some problems on other platforms. I really enjoyed what it was doing. It's just a very dense game too, and I think that doesn't have the magic that some of these other ones do. But Grifflands is still really good. Don't take that as me shitting too hard on it.
Sure.
And I think that we can get rid of Word Web. So Word Web is a cool take on crossword puzzles, but I play that game. I haven't played it for a while, but it's cool. It's a cool game. Just not
I played it for a couple days. Really fun. We did a little quick look on it, and then I kind of got bored of it and left it. But it's cool for what it is.
Oh man,
Johnny. I mean, the only one Johnny put up here was Deathloop.
I put Deathloop on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't worry about having to cut your own. Like you can cut. You can nominate anything.
Cut what you want to cut.
Or try. Or die trying.
You want Lost in Random? How is that?
It seems fine. Yeah, it seems.
It's not a
cool
winner.
Game.
It's a cool game.
You feel passionately about it? Okay.
I think it's.
We'll let you know if there's a game you try to cut. We'll cut you before you cut that game. We'll get there.
Okay. Cut what you want to cut, man.
All right. I thought what I played of Electhead was very cool.
Fuck you. No, I'm kidding. Electhead's another one that it's like I wish I played a Leckhead. I wish I had a system to play a Leckhead, because I think I would probably fight really hard for a Leckhead, but I didn't. All I have is this quick look, and I had to kind of ask Bobby to do that quick look a bunch of times. And I was like, Bobby, the game's $4. Just buy the game. Let me be on the quick look so I can watch the quick look. And we had a good time. We did get stuck though, which kind of sucked. But man, a Leckhead I think is really cool.
It's a very cool game.
Get to play that sometime.
Yeah,
needs to come to Switch in 2022. That'd be great. Okay, back to me. I think we can cut Nuts. I think Nuts is really cool.
It is a cool game.
It was a cool game. I think there are other games that I would say is a cool game, but better than Nuts.
I wish that it had more. I was really hoping for my Firewatch moment with that game, and it just never came.
Yeah. It gestures at it, but it never quite gets there. It gets there, right? I'm also going to cut Dungeon Encounters. That game took over my life for like a week, and then I escaped it, and I kind of never want to go back. But I was really stuck in it for that week and had a great time with it. We've talked to death about Dungeon Encounters and the contradictions it has there, so we don't need to get in it further, but Dungeon Encounters can be cut.
Okay. I'm going to cut Power Wash Simulator. I think that was a really cool game.
It was a great quick look.
Yeah, great quick look. Had a ton of fun with it, but it falls short here. I'm also going to cut Tender Creature Comforts.
Thank you.
I think it's a cool.
Fuck that game.
I think it's cool. It's a little too real for Chase. But
a little too real for the one guy who's not married on this podcast to play the game that tells you how much it sucks to be on a dating site. Fuck that game.
But yeah. All right, Johnny, kill some darlings for us.
I'm only sad that I wasn't the one who got to cut it.
Man, I'm looking at this list, and there's a lot of games that.
There's only one winner on here, though. We got to figure. We got to find.
Come on, Johnny. No whammies. No whammies. No whammies. Stop. Come on. Tell us what the next game.
Okay. I think Returnal is very cool, but I don't think it wins this category.
Okay, I agree with that.
I surprisingly agree with that. Wow, we're gonna get a good game out of this category.
Returnal is a great game.
I don't know. I didn't experience it. I'm just happy you guys played a PS5 sometime this year. Makes me happy to know that's possible.
I mean, I feel like we're all kind of thinking the same thing here.
Are we? I don't know. What?
Just pick a game to get rid of, Johnny.
You're saying we're all thinking like a game that we're going to pick to win?
I think that there's a standout game on this list that will win this category.
Well, then
I disagree. I think there's like 4 good games that could reliably take this title, at least.
And I'm trying to stick with things that I've experienced myself, or at least
you don't have to.
We don't have the time, Johnny.
Yeah, just pick one.
Loop Hero. What about Loop Hero?
No way.
Loop Hero has to stay.
You're fucking high.
Loop Hero is one of the 4 that has to stay.
Everhood,
I think can go. Everhood is super cool, but it can go.
Yeah,
people should check out Everhood. It's potentially one of the 10 best games that came out this year, according to some people.
Chase, back to you.
Back to me. I think we can cut Solar Ash. I have not finished Solar Ash. I think it's really cool. I think there are other games that are probably really cooler in here.
Yeah.
And then, Bobby, I thought Mind Scanners was neat when we did that quick look.
Totally.
That one's not up yet, right?
No.
Okay, but when it goes up, I think people should check that out. It's a cool quick look, but it's not going to win this category either. So I cut those 2.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to cut Potion Craft and White Shadows.
Okay.
Johnny, do me a favor. Can you start to copy and like move the ones that aren't scratched off to the top of this list here that we've got, so we can see that a little bit easier. And then you can pick one of those games and scratch it out after you move it up there.
Yeah.
Or just leave it down below. See what you leave.
Yeah, if you're not gonna
whatever you want. We got to keep cutting.
It feels kind of good to cut, right?
What about
it? Does like it's freeing.
Dodgeball Academia?
Yes, cut it. I didn't finish that game. I think it's really neat. I would like to play more of it, but I just never found the time.
Boyfriend Dungeon.
I'm okay with that one. I that was a cool game. I think there are other games that do this style better. I really like what it was doing, especially with the light dating sim elements to it. But it's I don't think it wins this thing. Okay, now it's getting a little harder.
You can cut Chorus.
Okay, if you're gonna let me do that. I mean, I still think Chorus is a game that I would probably enjoy if I played it.
Yeah, it's
very really cool from what I've experienced.
It's a very cool game, but I don't know if it carries water with some of these other games.
Okay, Bobby, tell me how much of a fight this is going to be. I think we can cut Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Get rid of it.
Okay, I had fun. I had fun playing the little bit that I played.
Let me just say this really quick. That's a studio that literally had been making CGI shorts, and they decided to make a game, and it shows, and I think it's really cool. It is the closest I've ever came to playing a DreamsWorks movie, and I think that's if you like old Rare games, especially like early 2000s Rare games, I think that you'll really find that this is a good modernization of that. So
it's got a bit of cameo into it.
Yep.
I wasn't a huge fan of the combat. I liked some of the other elements that it was doing there.
You know what? Cool. There's some real good looking games on that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Townscaper can go.
Okay. Yeah. Bobby, we both really like Deathloop.
Yep.
But I feel like there's other games on here that we'd be more passionately fighting for than Deathloop.
If I'm going to split some hairs here with you, it's going to be this. It's like there's things in Deathloop that doesn't feel like a debut, right? And what I'm saying, Chase, keep your breath ready because we're cutting it.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But like, there's some things there that like certainly feels like it's the best.
It is standing on the shoulder of giants. Like it's standing on the shoulder of.
It's an amalgamation of everything they learned from Sonic 1 and 2 with some new ideas sprinkled in. Yeah.
Like that game is super important to me. I will give that game its recognition elsewhere, but when I think about what I'm looking at right here on this list, I'm thinking about like, wow, you can cut Next Space. Like we can cut that one also.
You feel like you're cutting more than you need to, buddy. I think we're at a point where we can only cut one a time now, because now we're getting into pretty deep cuts. We only have how many games left? 1, 7, 4, 5,
8.
Actually, 7? Yeah. Hey, really quick. Next Space Rebels is really fucking cool. That's an awesome game. It does some really interesting things with storytelling in a way that feels invasive, the way that like Tinder Creature Comforts probably did for you, Chase. Like chasing this whole thing with our show on a YouTube channel and looking at those numbers, the whole creativity aspect of like building something is like kind of what I do outside of our shows with like designing stuff for the show. I love the tinkering in that. I love the tone of that game. I do think it's a really strong debut. I think it's like one of 2 games that studio's made. I really like that game, and it sucks because there's some really good games on here, but it deserves a moment in the sun, and I think we gave it to it.
Okay.
All right, Bobby, it's my turn. How much are you going to fight me when I say I don't think Death's Door belongs on this list? Okay.
It's the best Zelda game that came out this year.
I really like that studio's previous work of Titan Souls. I think this game is probably also pretty cool. It's on Switch now, isn't it?
I think so.
Or is it still coming soon? Okay. Yep. Either way, I think I'll probably end up playing that game. But not the best debut this year.
Okay. What? Bobby?
Bobby's turn. And I want to say I think the rest of the games on here have a legitimate chance at winning. I think any of them could win. There's might be 2 that I could still understand cutting. The rest of them, I don't know how we get to a winner.
I am going to say let's cut. This is I think this is the hardest it's ever been for me on a best debut. For the years that we've been doing this together, I want you all to know in this moment in time, this is the hardest.
I mean, we can go back. No, we can look.
No.
No, I mean, we can't go back from what we cut. I'm saying 2016 and 17, we didn't do this category. 2018, it was Into the Breach, deservedly so. 2019 was Outer Wilds, also deservedly so. And 2020 was Hades, which I think Hades kind of blew the doors off everybody here. I can't remember what we fought about then, but right. I don't think it was much of a fight.
I'm going to say I love this game. It was a very special game, but I think Tome can get cut.
Okay.
Oh, that hurts, but I think I can go with that.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man?
Like, but I get it. I get it.
Like it
was not the best black and white game to come out this year.
It's so good though. Toem, everybody should play Toem. It's 6 hours. Fucking play Toem. God, play Toem.
I didn't finish Pokemon Snap because Toem does Pokemon Snap better than Pokemon Snap does Pokemon Snap.
Johnny, finish Toem, man. It's good.
It just came out on Switch, right?
No,
it came out a while ago.
Or is that Chicory?
Yeah. Chicory
just came out on Switch.
I'm going to play both of those games.
Are you going to cut Chicory?
What?
Are you going to cut Chicory? It's still on this list.
No, I was going to say Eastward.
I was going to say Eastward next too.
I'm okay with Eastward going.
I think
I don't like the way that game plays. I love the way that game looks and sounds.
And I think when I think of best debut, I'm thinking of something that, you know, it does, like, just being a new IP or whatever. I want something that challenges me in ways that I haven't been challenged before, and maybe does things differently than I've done in a game before. And Eastward is very, it's gorgeous, but like you said, the gameplay.
It's a love letter to games that have come before, and maybe a little bit to a fault.
Yep.
That it does that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Man,
these games are all great. I think we should just preface that with
yes.
These games.
There's not a bad game in the bunch anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's no stinkers here. No skips.
This is the
I know we gave Johnny.
This is the hardest.
It is. I know we gave Johnny shit for it before. This is the time we cut Loop Hero. Loop Hero is one of like the best. How many do we have? Like 5 left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Top 5.
It's definitely top 5. I don't think it's top 1. I had a fantastic time with Loop Hero. It's not top 1.
I had a fantastic time with it.
Yep.
It's a good game.
God damn. It's harder and harder.
I know.
All right. I'm cutting Chicory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right. I'm with you. All right.
And
that game rules. Game rules.
Also, as we're recording this, they just announced on their Twitter today they got a shop set up on their website. The developers do. There's a really fucking cool Chicory T-shirt you can buy for $25 that you should check out. It's awesome. It's got a
do I get to design it myself?
No, but it's all the line art of the missing kids, and then it's a pink to orange gradient, and it's got 3 of the kids over on the short sleeve. It's really fucking cool. I'm probably gonna pick it up. But Chicory, again, another great Zelda-esque game. I think when we talk about games for impact, touchy-feely, there's a lot there for it.
So we're down to 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is we're down to Unpacking, Inscription, and Fights in Tight Spaces. Johnny, you have the most unenviable position ever, because I think I am going to fight you no matter which game you say.
So I can tell you which one I would cut.
I think we just have to choose.
How about we all say we all say the game we're thinking on the count of 3?
Okay.
Wait, the game we want to cut or the game that we think wins?
The game we want to cut on the count of 3.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Inscription.
Unpacking.
Fights in Tight Spaces.
Fuck.
Great. Awesome.
Somebody flip it.
All right. Other way. What's your number 1? My number 1 is Fights in Tight Spaces.
That's my number 1. With a bullet.
Johnny, what's
That's what I was thinking this whole fucking time. And then
It's not with a bullet, though. I think
it was going to be Inscription.
For me,
I think
it is, but I understand. Inscription is phenomenal. Unpacking, phenomenal. Fights in Tight Spaces completely changed our show. It completely changed what we do as a show. It 100% changed us. And but
also beyond what it's done for our show, I think it's just the best game on this list.
Oh, 100%. I agree. Now, Johnny obviously doesn't, and that's okay.
No.
Johnny, of the three, what's your favorite?
When we started this category, and I said, I think there's a clear winner.
I know, but I don't think it was clear, because I think any of the three of these games could win.
Johnny,
the only reason I said...
I understand.
Have you played Inscription or Unpacking, Johnny?
No.
Okay.
But
you're familiar.
I'm familiar. Inscription sounds fucking incredible.
It is.
I listened to the Nextlander guys when they talked about it at length, and I was like, that sounds amazing. Unpacking sounds incredibly take a very simple idea, turn it into a very emotional, relatable experience that anyone who has ever lived a life can relate to and connect with. Fights in Tight Spaces.
What, you've never lived a life when you're a secret agent fighting biker dudes in a bar? You've never lived that life?
And then Fights in Tight Spaces is the best strategy game I've played since Into the Breach. So
I see no lies here, or hear no lies.
I'm happy with any of these games winning, but if we want to...
So if you had to Chase, if you had to rank these three, what's your number 1, 2, and 3?
It's Fights, then Inscription, then Unpacking.
Man, Chase.
But it actually, Unpacking might be Inscription. I don't know. I have no idea. It's one of those two. I can't even remember what my top 10 is anymore.
Fights, Inscription, Unpacking.
Fights, Inscription, Unpacking for me.
Boom.
Okay. Congratulations to Fights in Tight Spaces. Johnny, I know that felt like the obvious one, and we all just wasted a bunch of time doing this. But if somebody made an impassioned argument for Inscription or Unpacking, I probably could have been swayed. But Fights is still my favorite one. I'm glad we went through the motions, because I think it deserved that.
You know what's crazy though? These were 3 games that were blips, very small blips before they came into existence for us, and wow, just
good
stuff. Very, very cool games.
On the opposite side of best debut, or no, that's not true. Never mind. That's the next category after this one. Go ahead, Bob.
Do you think it's only... We could call this a Johnny category. I don't really know. Most disappointing game, however, a list that is a bit longer than I thought it would be. And look,
not as long as debut. That's there were lots of really great games. There's just also
I think that we try to keep things
quite
pretty professional around here. We do share some high thought and opinion on things, but for the most part, we don't like to kick things when they're down too often, unless it's Bobby Kotick. And then
I also want to preface, most disappointing game does not mean the worst game we played, because I think most disappointing means the biggest gap between what our expectations were and what the game turned out to be to us. So it could be a game that we thought was going to be our number 1 game this year, or potentially number 1 game of all time, and it ended up being okay. And that might be more disappointing than the game that we thought was going to be average and then ended up being a little below average. Even though that second game is a worse game, it's not as disappointing.
I'm happy to go through the motions here, Chase, because I think that we can talk through it. But I'm also, I know you.
you know what I'm going to say. Yes,
I know what you're going to say, and the weight of what you're going to say is not lost on me.
Let's say the nominees, and then we'll have a discussion.
So we've got Jet to Far Shore, which you know how I feel. Persona 5 Strikers, Mario Golf Super Rush, the new Pokemon Snap, Outriders, Psychonauts 2, Narita Boy, 12 Minutes, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Baldo, The Guardian Owls, Cozy Grove, Returnal, Far Cry 6, Call of Duty Vanguard, Battlefield 2042, Riders Republic, Biomutant, Stonefly, and the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Okay. I feel like there are only...
Psychonauts 2 does not belong in this list, Chase. You're fucking high.
No, it wins this category. It wins this category. I think there are only 4 games that even really deserve talking about. Let me just put that out there and just see how you guys feel about it. I think Jet the Far Shore needs to be on the short list. I think Mario Golf Super Rush needs to be on the short list. I think Psychonauts 2 needs to be on the short list. And I think probably 12 Minutes ends up being on the short list. Those are the 4 I think that have a legitimate chance of winning this category.
I can get behind that. I would just say I'd like at least a moment in time to talk about Biomutant.
Please.
So Biomutant was a game. It was the first game, as a matter of fact, that I put on my wish list on Steam when I built my PC. I was all in on the premise of this game. I thought it was going to hit all the right notes for me. It looked beautiful. It looked weird and fucking wild. And this game felt awful when you played it. It just had a really strange approach. And I mean, shit, dude, like this game was on a ton of wish lists. It was highly anticipated. I was watching all the YouTube videos breaking down the classes. Johnny and I were texting back and forth about this game, and it came out, and Johnny's like, dude, this game is not fun. It's not good. I'm like, you're right. It's not. And it's...
Were you? I thought you were still kind of holding the torch for it while everyone else was saying this game was bad.
No, not very long. I mean, I was literally like just around the corner.
Stuck with it a little while longer.
A little bit longer.
Okay. Maybe we had like one podcast where you were saying like, oh, it's not all that bad. I remember a bit of resistance before
I will say
came around,
the only good thing about Biomutant is it introduced us to our friend Potato Lion. And by streaming Biomutant, Potato had been watching, and here we all are. So, yeah, I think Biomutant is deservedly to be on the list of biggest disappointment, but I don't think it wins. But it was certainly one of the bigger disappointments for me this year. I don't think I had been hyped for a game as much as that one, to be let down by a game as much as I was by that one.
Okay, so it can stricken through.
Yep.
I think Battlefield belongs in this list.
I mean,
I'm so disappointed in Battlefield 2042. I haven't played it.
Well, yeah, because that's kind of like most disappointing. Again, this is personal to our podcast, the three of us, and so while I realize that Battlefield 2042 is an extremely disappointing game for a lot of people out there, a lot of fans that are out there, I know that Bobby doesn't give a shit about Battlefield, and I don't give a shit about Battlefield.
Okay.
And I understand that you do, Johnny, and I think that is a good point, that the game was so bad, the game was so poorly received that you didn't even play it. I think there's...
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That is pretty disappointing, to own a game and not even want to give it a shot.
I mean,
I own lots of games that I haven't played, but it's not because I'm disappointed.
I played the beta.
I'm disappointed in myself.
And in the moment, I was like, okay. And then afterward, I was like, huh. Okay, well, we'll see how it is when it launches. And then it launched. And, you know, it's even... Even I expected it to come in hot, because those games always come in hot. Conquest was broken on Battlefield 4 when it launched on the PS4. You couldn't play fucking Conquest, the signature game mode. So we can cut it. I love Psychonauts 2. I'm upset it's even on this list because the writing is tight.
Hey, I'm also upset it's on this list because I never wanted to put it on this list, but it has to go on this list.
Also, I was pretty let down by Outriders. You all know I was super into that game.
GTA Trilogy is more of a joke. It's just like
it's a fucking joke.
It's a joke.
Have you looked at it? It's an absolute joke.
Yeah.
So is Super Mario 3D All Stars. Look, we threw a bunch of good games together and made them shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go. Eat your slop. Also, the Mario one is even worse because it's like, oh well, you can only buy this for a limited time. Get fucked, Nintendo. I even bought that garbage.
We're cool cutting Persona.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we're cool cutting down to the 4 that I mentioned before, and I don't even mind putting Johnny's Battlefield 2042. We're gonna make it 5. Okay.
So I put Eternal on here. They fixed my issue that was with this. The biggest thing for me was it's a game that the PS5 wasn't stable when this game came out for rest mode, and the game did not have a way to save your run. And this game has really long runs. And so that was a big turnoff for me because it's a hard game. It's a very difficult game. and not to be able to save your progression. But they have since added that, so like I will say good on them. But Returnal was a game that I thought would be high on my list this year after my first experiences with it. And yeah.
Okay.
Johnny?
Here's the deal, Johnny. You're gonna get what you want because Psychonauts 2 isn't gonna win this. But let me say my piece.
Okay.
And you already know my piece. I think I've probably already said it. Psychonauts 1 is on any given day my favorite game of all time. It's Portal, Psychonauts, Pokemon Red and Blue. It's the 3 Ps. And if you want to throw Persona 4 in there sometimes, it's the 4 Ps. Basically, if a game starts with a P, it has a chance of being my favorite game of all time. Psychonauts 2 starts with a P. God damn it. It is so old. It feels old. And I can't forgive it. I can forgive Psychonauts 1 if I go back to Psychonauts 1 and play it. Like, oh yeah, hey, it was the game of the era. It's what it was. These jokes still land. It's fine. These spaces are smaller, so the collectathon bullshit that you have to go through doesn't feel as bad. And I cannot forgive Psychonauts 2 for trying to put me through that same old garbage of, hey, you should come back here when you have this new power. It's like, no, you're telling me a cool story. I think the story in here is interesting. I want to play more of it. I just don't want to play more of it because I am so disappointed in every single thing it's doing.
Man, like all the level, like the themes.
The levels are inventive. I just don't like being in them.
It's hard for me to really bring a lot to the table here on this one, Chase, because
I never played the first one.
I didn't play the first one. So I've had a really good time with the second one.
You have. If you played Psychonauts 2, you've played Psychonauts 1 because it's the same thing.
Okay. It's
just that one was made on the original Xbox and this one is made in 2021. And man, so again, like if we're talking gap between what the game I expected to be and what the game I got was, this one for me wins easy. Because it was, you cannot get higher than my favorite game of all time to, I could barely put time into this game because I just was having zero fun with it. And I backed this game. I backed this game on Fig. I don't even know what the fuck Fig is, but I did it. I was the original Notch. Me. Fuck you, Notch. I'm the actual one who financed this game.
All right, really quick. So we've got Jet the Far Shore, Mario Golf Super Rush, new Pokemon Snap, Psychonauts 2, Narita Boy, 12 minutes. Can we get rid of 12 minutes in Narita Boy?
We can get rid of Narita Boy. I think 12 minutes probably still has to stay, right?
Yes. Well, I don't know. I mean, like...
We can cut Psychonauts 2, okay? I think this list at this point is Jet the Far Shore, Mario Golf, and 12 minutes. I think those are the 3 potential contenders.
So get rid of Pokemon?
Case, I'm sorry you didn't like.
What? Where's Pokemon? Oh, Pokemon Snap. Yeah, you can cut that one. It's fine. It's workable. It's just not as good as the first game.
I think
12 minutes is more difficult for me because I didn't pay any money for it.
Right.
And my expectations going into it were, that was that game that had the really interesting trailer from a few years ago.
For more than a few years ago. That game has been in development for what feels like forever. So, we've seen it multiple times. It seemed cool multiple times. Every time they showed it, they're like, hey, here's a new cool thing. Look at this cast. Look at this cast that we've done. It's by Annapurna, or published by Annapurna. We love Annapurna here. Our expectations are high as hell for this. And I still think the beginning of that game and what you see has a really cool premise. It seems like it's really cool.
Dude,
I watched a quick look with you guys and went, this game still seems like a thing I'm into. And then I heard you guys go, no, not at all. And I'm still confused. I mean, I'm a little less confused hearing you guys talk about Least Moment, but to know where that game started for us to where that game ended up, it absolutely is one of the most disappointing games this year.
I think that the winner is Mario Golf.
You could make a great case for it. Mario Golf.
Say Jet.
I would probably also say Jet, but Mario Golf is a generally fantastic franchise. I think my only issue is that they've continually not made the game I've wanted for a couple iterations. these past few times, because I like that GB Game Boy Color version, the one that's actually a true RPG, and they haven't done that for a while. They've gotten close. The 3DS one has equipment, and so does this game, that you don't really level up, but you do get equipment that changes the way you play. I think the golf mechanics in Mario Golf Super Rush are some of the best they've ever had. That game feels awesome to play. I think Speed Golf is kind of whatever, and I hate that they force feed it into the campaign as much as they do. That campaign goes off the rails halfway through, and it stays off the rails, and it's not fun.
Okay.
But I think when we've played that game on stream and just done like, hey, it's just a handful of us playing the golf, I think the game is still pretty darn great, and I still really like that game. Jet. Here's the thing with Jet. I can pinpoint back to a hotel room in Florida over Christmas break when EGM died. I remember when EGM and 1UP died, and like everybody started scattering to the wind. That's the time that I got a Twitter account because I needed to know where all these 1UP personalities that I loved were going to. That's when something like Rebel FM started, and they were talking about that. That's when A Life Well Wasted started, and they were talking about how the EGM apocalypse, whatever happened. And the game that I played at that time, like hearing that EGM died, was Sword and Sorcery EP on my phone, required headphones on your my iPod Touch, not even my phone, it was my iPod Touch. That moment is burned into my brain of playing that game in that moment and having a fantastic time. It's one of my favorite video game experiences because it was like this bright light in what felt like darkness of like, oh shit, all these people I really like are out of jobs and I don't know where they're all scattering to, and this was like a thing that I had, and I've always appreciated that developer. And they've made very little stuff after that. They had some stuff in Sound Shapes. They had like some levels that they worked on in Sound Shapes, and they're good levels. I love their pixel art style. I was so ready for anything that they were going to give me, and then they gave us Jet after a very long time, and we all know how much we don't like Jet.
Yeah, I mean, I would get on board with any of these three. So I don't feel like I have as impassioned disbelief in these games as some of the feelings you two have, but I'm happy to step aside and let you all say which one it is.
I feel like
Psychonauts. Yeah, I think Joe wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jet. We hardly knew thee.
Congratulations.
But hey, also, you had one of the best moments of the year.
Yeah.
And then high down to real low.
Just like
That's
the fight. So we've got a new category here, and Chase, I'd love for you to kind of talk about this one, just because there's been some contention around.
Totally, and it's happened a couple of years in a row, and it really was just the title of the category that was the problem. We've called this Best Surprise in the past, and it's my thinking when I made up the category is the opposite of most disappointing. So most disappointing, you have what your expectations were and what the game actually was, and the gap between those, and this the same thing but the opposite. What were your expectations going in versus what your expectations were coming out, and or how the game performed after it came out. It's the thing is, surprise is so easy to think of, like, hey, it's a game that came out of nowhere and it was a surprise. And I totally understand that people take that as surprise, but my thinking of it is we had to have expectations for something before we can have those expectations exceeded. So it has to be like a game that we saw pre-release footage for and we're like, that game's probably not that great. And then it had to be better than that. Or a game that we thought was going to be good and it ended up being one of our favorite games of the whole year. Like that was my thinking of it. So these are games that are kind of known quantities, but we just didn't know them as well as we thought we did.
Sure.
Okay. So with that in mind, Bobby, why don't you go down the list?
Yeah. The list we have here is Fights in Tight Spaces, Pokemon Unite, Boyfriend Dungeon, Pac-Man 99, Deathloop, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Metroid Dread, Loop Hero, Next Space Rebels, Back for Blood, Ruin King, Guardians of the Galaxy, Halo Infinite, and Axiom Verge 2. There's some games on here that are pretty good.
Definitely are. Also, like, this is, again, based on our expectations. The three of us had to have expectations of these things going in. So while some people might go, oh, I've never heard of Fights in Tight Spaces before, and that game came out and was really good, why does that go in here based on your rules? And I would say, because I did see pre-release footage of that game, and I thought it was good, I thought it looked cool, and then Bobby and I were able to actually get our hands on it, and it became the best debut game of the year.
Yeah.
It's a high contender for our game of the year. It blew out any expectations of, oh, cool, roguelike deck builder. Like, yeah, I like those. To, holy shit, this game might be the best thing I've played. And that's why something like that deserves to be on here. Can somebody give me a similar kind of argument for Loop Hero? Because that one came out of a game jam that none of us knew about and became a thing that we all loved, but I mean, what did we know about Loop Hero before we played Loop Hero?
I don't remember hearing about this game until it was out.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
You guys were talking about it.
I love Loop Hero.
It's a great game.
From the way this category was talking about, I'm wondering why it's here.
Should it be the first one we strike from the list?
I'm fine with that.
Unless somebody has an argument for it.
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
I think we can get rid of Axiom Verge 2. Like, I fell off that first one while everybody loved it. This had a really strong debut for me. The
opposite experience.
Yeah, I love Axiom Verge 2. And honestly, I would have saw it through, but I ended up playing the game that inspired this, which was a Metroid. I played my first Metroid this year to completion, and that's really what I focused on. I think Axiom Verge absolutely succeeded in areas that the first one failed, in my opinion, but I know other people maybe don't feel the same way.
Hot Wheels Unleashed is a really cool game. It's better than it has any right to be, and it doesn't win this by a long sight, but I just wanted to shout it out because usually, licensed games.
Licensed kid games. Like this game wasn't necessarily built for adults. Like, it has like a, hey, build your basement lounge thing that's probably for adults, but also is weird and kind of sucky. But the game itself
is really fun.
Like, you guys actually made a really good racing game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having a hard time understanding like why Deathloop's on here. I think that game was hyped up like crazy.
Well, I didn't put Deathloop on here, but the reason I could see putting Deathloop on here is, at least for me, I think Dishonored 2 sucks. So me coming in thinking they made Dishonored 2, they made Prey. I think Prey was also a game that I didn't give a shit about. And, they're making another game. I really like Dishonored 1, but I probably am not going to check this out. And then for it to come out and people really like it, that's how it can defy expectations for me.
I had no expectations for it. And all the, like, no one knew what that game was, even when they showed it off. Remember? They had, like, laid out.
They couldn't explain that game. In fact, I don't think you guys still can explain that game.
And then it comes out and you play it, and you're like, oh, okay, this is actually very good. It's not, I don't think that it makes the short list here.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But it's a good game.
Back for Blood can go. I think that for me,
it was a lot of fun.
I was really surprised by how good this game ended up being based off of like everything that had happened prior. This team kind of coming and breaking away. Like, it was even stealing the name. I mean, it was not hiding anything about what it was trying to be, and it did a really good job.
I mean, they had the pedigree of Left 4 Dead, but didn't they also work on the what's the other game that they made, the 4-on-1, where like one thing was the monster? Is that like Evolution or something? Evolve?
Yeah.
Evolve? Yeah. I don't know.
Pokemon Unite is a lot of fun.
Johnny, we said that we would never play a MOBA unless they put Pokemon in it. And then they put Pokemon in it, and we did.
And it was pretty good.
And I think it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
It's not enough for me to think MOBAs are the best thing ever, but it's surprisingly pretty fun, and I put a pretty damn good amount of time into it. I'm fine cutting it, but like yeah.
We can cut Metroid also. So I know.
Okay.
I was on the fringe. Like Metroid, this game has a pedigree. Like
Metroid has never been
yeah
my favorites. I really disliked Metroid Prime. I haven't played a proper side-scrolling Metroid since Metroid Fusion on the GBA, like 20 years ago or whatever. And I guess that's the last time they had in a iteration in the franchise.
A technically new one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Metroid Samus Returns, like I played. That was a Mercury Steam one.
right.
I didn't love it. It's fine. I did a Gamers on the Go episode about it. You can listen to me bitch about it the whole time. And this one is apparently pretty darn good from what I'm hearing, all things considered.
Bobby, Rune King is a very good video game.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't expect to care about League of Legends based game.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the other stuff on here, and I'm not sure that it would make the final cut.
I mean, it's got a lot of things working for it to make it be a good game. And again, like I think that you and I just not liking League, especially, it has a lot more value in this category to us, where people who like League might be like, that's garbage. So I'm down for cutting it.
Okay.
I think fights can be cut. Like Fights in Tight Spaces, again, I think one of the best games of the year, but I think maybe I'm the only one who was somewhat aware of that game before we started playing it. So
yeah, I'd never heard of it until you guys streamed it.
Yes.
In terms of something that overachieved over our expectations, I think that one, the way we're talking about this category, I think that could be cut.
Yeah, I agree. What about Pac-Man, Chase?
So Tetris 99, one of the coolest things Nintendo's ever done. Mario 35
not
fucking
so
sucks. So I think there was, hey, maybe this was just a one-time thing with the Tetris 99. Hey, you made a neat battle royale kind of game, and you made it work, but you can't do it again. And then Pac-Man 99 comes out and goes, maybe you can. I think that game is pretty neat. I don't think it's good enough to say the gap between my expectations to what it was is big enough to win, but I think that game ended up being pretty good, and it actually makes me a little bit interested in what Battle Royale style twist they'll do next.
Yeah. So, are you okay cutting it here, or do you think it's...
Yeah, totally cut it.
So that leaves us, we're down to 4 here. I think out of these, we can cut Next Space Rebels.
Okay.
Again, it's a game that I didn't know anything about, so I didn't really have to overachieve anything for me. I just thought it looked cool. It hit Game Pass, so it had a win there. Like, I don't have any money invested in it, but I think that it is a very strong video game. I keep saying that every time we have it on here. It's really cool.
I think these last 3 are the ones I probably would have landed on if I tried to make this list myself. So I'm totally for this. Even though 2 of the games I don't actually give a shit about, I totally understand why they're on here and respect them.
So,
and that's
Guardian. How hard are you going to make me fight for Halo Infinite for this?
Let me just say my piece on that really quick, Johnny. I was obsessed with Halo more than any. I mean, outside of Zelda, it was like Halo for me. Like any other kid that grew up playing games in the fucking early 2000s, like Halo changed everything. But I didn't play anything after 3. Fell off of it. And it sounds like I missed out on 2 really cool games with ODST and Reach.
Yeah,
but it sounds like outside of that, like it's all been fucking bad. And I think that we have talked, I know we've talked, there's probably receipts of us all talking that after 4 and after Guardians and the Master Chief Collection and all that shit that happened, that everybody was like, well, dude, if Microsoft doesn't get this right, like Halo's done. Like that's been the conversation that I've been a part of.
343 has never made a good Halo game. Even when they remade Halo games that Bungie made, they still somehow fucked them up. Like that was the talk.
Years of patching to make Master Chief Collection good.
So I don't think.
And like Bobby, I'm with you. Like I even went a little past you. I read the damn books.
Yeah,
I played Halo 4 and 5 and was thoroughly disappointed in both of them. I played the Master Chief Collection and was very underwhelmed. I to the point where when they announced Halo Infinite, I'm like, nah. And even still today, I'm a little bit nah. But hearing the way Johnny talks about it, hearing the way other people talk about it, I understand how it could potentially win this category.
Out of this list here, it has the absolute most to lose. And the fact that it's where it's at right now, we downplayed it. Like we downplayed it significantly, and I'm not gonna turn the dirt over on this at this point in time. But like I don't know if you two really fully understand like how fucking awful my experience getting this game to work was.
I do.
I don't think chat does. Johnny and I definitely do. We've seen the text.
We had multiple conversations that week about it, and I felt so bad.
But Johnny had conversation with me. Is like, fuck, Bobby really hates this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I did hate it because it was super frustrating. But what I'll say is this, is that I've been playing this game. It's the only thing I've been playing for the last few days. It's all I want to play right now. And I'm having a really good time playing it. And I think that it's
win?
I think it wins.
Is it fine?
I think it wins.
I'm fine with it winning. Like I think Boyfriend Dungeon is like the premise of that game. When somebody shows you Boyfriend Dungeon and goes, hey, it's a roguelike, but also it's a dating sim, but it's not actually really a dating sim. And it looks like a thing that's like, this probably doesn't play very good. It's probably got like a fun little gimmick to it. And it turned out to be a pretty cool and interesting game. I think it also got shit on a little bit because of some overly sensitive people and overly sensitive people about overly sensitive people. Because I think they did a pretty good job making that game, and it's tough when you're trying to make something for a specific audience because that specific audience is very specific in what they are looking for and what they tolerate and what they're cool with. It turned out to be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And Guardians, I know I don't give a fuck about
I thought that game
Marvel stuff anymore.
Did not show well.
I thought it was terrible from what they showed.
It's
really
especially when they showed it at E3 and went through the trailer, and then they're like, "Oh, now we're going to do a gameplay demo," and the gameplay demo was just the stuff that was in the trailer. I was like, you guys don't even have a full game here. Like, you have to re-show footage in the demo after the what? We already saw this shit in the trailer. What are you doing?
Yep.
And I thought, no way. I didn't think the jokes landed. I didn't think anything about it landed. And apparently now it's the best narrative of the year. Is this what I'm hearing? Jeff Keighley said it was the best narrative of the year.
It's got a really good story to it. I think the story's stronger than the gameplay, but it's surprising for sure.
I'm very eager to play that one. Cool. All right.
We got congratulations, Halo Infinite.
Not a whole lot left, but Johnny's loaded in here for us. We've got the touchy-feely of the year, game for impact, most emotional, made us feel. If I can be so bold here, I don't want to discredit anything on this list here, but I do. I think that Unpacking, start to finish, does this in a really impactful way with very little. I know that you want to put a thing up here for Jet.
I don't. I've said my piece on the moment, and it's the moment. I think that game has a moment, and it might have other moments. I just never got to them because I didn't like the game. So we can cut that one easily. I have no problem cutting that one.
Unpacking made me feel a lot of things I wasn't really ready to feel this year, in a really good and bad way. And I think that it's very, 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 very good at doing something that's so hard to do with I just like it's so effortless. And
I think even the moment we showed, the moment that won best moment is like one of many in that game. It's just that one is the one that hit probably the hardest for all of us as we played. But that game has a ton of moments like that, where, again, masterfully done with no voices at all, no text at all.
And
it just it's great. It's really good.
You think that this boyfriend is a piece of shit, and he is a piece of shit, but that's not the reason. That's not the reason she left him.
There's a lot of stuff you can read into how the game works. A lot of the items that you end up keeping from home to home is cool to see. That pig doll that you have that progressively gets rougher and rougher, and then at the end where she's got a kid, and I'm spoiling a little bit for unpacking. I'm sorry, I'm spoiling a lot for unpacking. And then you see that pig doll has been patched and has a new ribbon on it. Like, oh, wow, look at that! Like, all of these moments are really good. I'm totally fine with it winning. The other stuff on here, like Chicory, we talked about the mom and dad stuff. I think Chicory deals with a lot of stuff about being an artist and being a creator and the difficulties that come with that. And I think it does some really important work with what it talks about. Eastward, we've talked about games like The Last of Us. We've seen The Road. We've done the adult and child doing a cross-country thing and trying to protect them. And this game does that too. But I just think it has a lot of really nice, quiet moments in there. And also a lot of moments that kind of you anticipate as like, oh god, this is going to get dark, isn't it? And it kind of gets dark. And I think it does good work with that too. And Bobby, I know you played Moon Globe. Do you want to talk anything more about that one before?
I didn't get as far into it as it just deals with a lot of loss and starting over and being brave enough to carry on a dream that you had with somebody who's no longer with you. And I think that's really hard to do. And the game is
somebody made Up, but put it in a fishing village.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just made the first sequence of Up and said, what if we made a whole game about that?
Yep.
Cool.
So are we all good with unpacking?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well deserved. Touchy feel of the year.
All right. This is our fourth to last category.
We'll be.
What?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. We've got. We've got 4 categories left. 2 of them are individual categories that go fast.
They go fast.
Yeah.
All right. So Johnny's got it loaded up here. Most impressive early access, sponsored by Big Bobby Energy. I wanted to put this on here. I know that we're short for time, but I spent a lot of my year checking out early access games, and it's something that it's been one of my favorite things about having a PC is having access to this. And it's not gate kept by PC. Like Xbox has a program, Sony's had some stuff, Nintendo even. But I wanted to highlight some games that
Risk of Rain 2, I still don't think is fully out on Nintendo Switch.
Right. So for me, like one of the things about these games are like I don't know if they'll have the same impact when they're fully out. I hope they do. But I spent so much time this year playing these games, and some of these were even into last year that I've continued to play in early access this year.
Did all of these games get some sort of update or significant update in 2021?
Yeah, every single one of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And I feel great about it.
Satisfactory just got a really big one.
I know.
A week or 2 ago.
I'm like, after we do Game of the Year shit, I'm firing that fucker back up. I can't wait.
Bobby, run down the list for us, please.
Everspace 2, Hard Space Shipbreaker, Valheim, Satisfactory, Tim, Baldur's Gate 3, and Ooblets. I'll start off by saying that I played so much Valheim this year. Like, I know Chase got tired of hearing about it.
Sure did.
But it is very much a Big Bobby Energy game. That game still blows my mind, like how big that game got from 5 people. Its story of like what early access has done for it, I think, is a really important one because it opened up doors for this studio that like they never thought possible. And so I didn't put Splitgate on here because it's technically out of early access now, I believe. But similar thing happened with Splitgate where the game exceeded their even own expectations for it. But Valheim, I think people are still waiting. Like they did one big update this year outside of it around how you get food and how you build some stuff in it. But
the Hearth and Home update.
Yeah, Hearth and Home.
Everybody knows.
There'll be even more that comes with it. So I think that we can. I don't know how you want to do this. Like for me, like it's Everspace 2.
I think
I was going to say it's Everspace too.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have said Art and Space Shipbreaker just because I really enjoyed watching you play that, but I'm fine with Everspace.
This is a hard one.
I was going to say Everspace Satisfactory.
Cool.
Yeah, so congratulations, Everspace 2.
Yep. That works for me.
All right. So let me try and pull this one up here really quick for us. We're going to be talking a little bit about our screenshot category, which is one that Chase introduced last year, I think.
Yeah, so we did this. We didn't have a category on the podcast because we had a audio only podcast. It didn't make any sense. But now that we did it on Twitter. We just picked like, hey, here are 4 of our favorite screenshots from 2020. There you go. But now that we've got a video thing that we're doing a stream. We can show these screenshots and talk a little bit about them. This one's for me. I thought Miitopia was really fun. I made Keanu Reeves I think I took somebody else's design for Keanu Reeves and put it in my game, and it's John Wick, and he was my great sage. So he came in and did a lot of really cool shit because John Wick is cool, and that was fun.
That's awesome.
I had a fun time with that.
So the way we're going to do this, by the way, it'll be Chase, me, Johnny, and we'll just rotate a few times with that.
Cool.
My screenshot here is from Death's Door. This game is gorgeous. This early on in the game when you meet the old crow, and I really liked just the way that this played out. It was really, really fucking cool looking. I don't have a lot more to say besides that this looks neat.
Yeah, they do some good work with the colors in that game.
Johnny,
greens and reds.
What's this? Did you cook some bad food in Breath of the Wild?
I did. This is from Ratchet and Clank. So there's a gun called the Pixelmator, and I really liked the way that this enemy looked whenever it got all pixelated when you shot him with the gun.
That is fun. Yeah. I really like the way it contrasts with how gorgeous the rest of the game looks.
Exactly.
That's quite good. Cool. This is from Monster Hunter Stories 2. This is your designed character. I really liked the armor in this game. I also liked the haircuts. I liked my kind of weird faux hockey side thing with a ponytail. And then, got Ratha behind me there, and he's looking pretty good. This game has a lot of these moments where, like, right before a big fight, you'd have this really cool image, and it was so hard to try to snap the right picture because there was no way to pause these cutscenes. And so, like, this was, I think the effort in getting this shot
that one pretty
is maybe even better than the shot itself. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that game. Just not a lot of screenshot bait for it, but this was one of the few that worked out really well.
Mine is from Sable, and it's I didn't play a lot of the game this year, which is a pretty big problem. But I did play enough to get a few screenshots, and this one is pretty cool.
Is this when you get to glide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a really cool moment.
Pretty good moment. Not best moment or sequence, but pretty good moment.
Johnny.
Yeah, this is from Ghost of Tsushima, and that game is just so, say what you will about it. Otherwise, it is so visually striking. And this is from a cutscene toward the end of the story, and it just the red contrasting with what's happening on the screen there. It was just a very...
But this is from the 2020 version of the game, not the Iki Island stuff?
Yeah, it is. But I took the screenshot this year.
I understand. That's, it's not... I also have a similar kind of screenshot. All right, Bobby, what's the next one?
We can skip it and move to
the how'd that get in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That I didn't...
Who would have thought that Chase would have put something competitive in?
I didn't. I totally had something different for that. That's a mistake. I'm sorry. Totally.
I lost pretty badly there. This is a screenshot from Nuts. I love the little dialogue there. It says, "Why would a squirrel stash dynamite and matches?" And I thought that was just really fucking good. Good looking game, good looking writing.
Gorgeous game. I really like the way they work on the colors on that one.
On Valheim, right?
Yeah.
No.
So this was taken midstream.
Oh God!
While we were on a voyage. I forget what we were trying to get exactly.
Find the swamps. We're trying to find the swamps, and we just found them.
We're trying to find the swamps.
Oh, is this the one where like Bobby couldn't get back on the boat? Wasn't there something where like somebody couldn't get back on the boat, or like somebody was getting murdered by something in a swamp and couldn't get back?
You're mixing this up with.
Yeah, it just perfectly encapsulates what was happening during that. That's like everything went wrong. We got caught in this big fucking storm.
There's a serpent.
Yeah, it's not the most artsy whatever screenshot. It's just I thought it really captured that moment for us.
It's got a bit of rule of thirds to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Aperture's nice.
You've got Animal Crossing to nobody's surprise.
Yeah. So that's a game that didn't come out this year, but these are the gyroids from the 2.0 update. This is a fun little space I have made on my island. It's brand new. Also, that arch that goes over them is one of the new items, the party lights, and that's really cool. And also, this shot is taken in first person, which is a new camera mode they've added for Animal Crossing. And they've done. I'm pissed that I did my photo a day thing for a full year. And then as soon as it's over, they add a bunch of cool new camera options and a bunch of really cool shit. No, absolutely not. I'm not going to go through that again. But I've been having a ton of fun playing that game and working with the new furniture pieces. And I just really like this little forest thing with all my gyroids singing. That's good.
That's awesome. I love everything about this picture I took in Forza. Primarily just the way that the car looks.
Great.
But I just love that it looks like little Kirby's hanging on for dear life as I'm catching some major air. And it's one of my favorite cars in the game. And I love that look for it.
It's very good.
Johnny?
Yep.
Seem to have found some more Ghost in the stream here.
Yeah, that was... I think I was in...
Is this Iki Island?
It is.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Did it.
So I was climbing along this cliff face on the coast here, and you're climbing up, and then you walk through this like little almost like tunnel area, and you're met with this view, and it was just so striking, and it looks so gorgeous that I spent longer than I care to admit trying to find the like right angle to show off the waves breaking, and it's like a moment of tranquility between murdering Mongols.
Nice. Chase, you want some pastry?
Starter Rally. Oh wait, no. What's this one?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Hashtag
I think this comes from our quick look, doesn't it, Bobby?
It does. Yeah.
Okay. So this game also not a 2021 game, but it did come to Switch in 2021. So I got to play it for the first time. We didn't like this game. It doesn't feel that good, but I do like its photos mode. I think that's fun. I also like that all the cars have different things written on the bottom of them. I don't know what scone means other than the food, and I still don't know why it's on the car. But I just like this shot and the way I was able to compose it.
Yeah,
it's a fun one.
Cool. Here's one of my shots from Everspace 2. And it was just a really cool one. I came into this.
That is nice.
That was your wallpaper for a while, wasn't it?
It is my wallpaper right now. So on the monitors, all the rocks are over here on the left, and then I've got the ship is a lot bigger. It looks really fucking cool on a dual monitor setup. But I came into this.
How would it look on a tri monitor setup?
It'd look really fucking cool, man.
Or how would it look on a tie monitor setup, Bobby?
It looked really good. But yeah, came into a really cool little area that they have, which you find all these all the time, and it was great. Hey, here's another pretty car.
Man,
cars are good.
That just looks like a promotional image for that game. I feel like.
Yeah.
Or that car, like that's in a car brochure.
Mm-hmm. Man, not much to say. I was drifting on the beach, and I was like, this would make a good photo, and it did.
And it did. Chase, you're up.
Yeah, this is from Solar Ash. This moment happens a few different times when you're kind of defeat one of the big bosses. You meet this Echo woman thing that's kind of in the sky. That's got a big needle through her heart, and you guys have a chat. She's not the happiest person about what you're doing or what's going on, and then she crushes you in her hand. And this is the moment right before she crushes you, and you wake back up to fight the next monster. And I just this game has some incredible colors, and really nice visual effects. And I like the camera angle in this one quite a bit. It's a really good moment from a cutscene.
Next up is one from me. This is more Valheim. But this is something I'm really proud of.
Makes me feel cozy.
I built that place, man.
Yeah, you had to build this from scratch.
I did. And so this is like the great hall that you walk into after you come from the docks. And so it's wet and shit, and you come out, you got this huge row of fire. I'm in the process of building it, but there on the sides of the image, like over here, there was this portals that ran down each side when it was done, and it was just a really cool spot.
It's a very cool space.
Yeah, it was a cool spot, man. I very much look forward to going back to that game in 2022. And Johnny, I put the same picture on here again because I screwed up. I goofed.
Oh man.
Let me see if I can find it really quick. Hang on. I don't have the link to it. It's on my laptop. I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
Johnny,
it was the Drifting for Jesus van.
Oh, shit!
Shit! That.
Yeah. Here, hang on.
You can't just cut the winner like that, Bobby. Just because Bobby's stacking the deck.
No. Hang on. I got it here. Give me 1 second.
I was about to vote for Bobby's Jeep truck thing, but now fuck that. I want to drift for Jesus.
I can pull it up.
Now, Johnny, is this actually your screenshot? You downloaded this design from somebody and you took this from you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then I'm all for it.
I bought this van, and I was like, let's find a really dumb livery for this van, and it was right there. And I went.
We liked this image enough that we used it as our podcast art. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's man.
I mean,
it's the best screenshot of the year.
It is the best screenshot of the year. I like a lot of the ones that we've got here, but I don't think we've had as much fun.
And that van
screenshot.
Someone made a tuning kit for it that makes it an S2.
Jesus Christ!
And that thing fucking flies.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It does. It literally drifts for Jesus.
Good God! All right. Well, that's an easy pick. Unless somebody has anything else that they want to throw in, I think that's the one.
Oops. Throw these last two categories.
Yeah, we'll finish off with something pretty easy. I mean, they're individual categories, so there's no argument to really be had. I will ask you guys a question though, to help me with mine. So as you see, we'll just kind of run through these. First game that we're going to play on our Steam decks once we get them. I don't know, guys. I want your help here. Forza Horizon 5, like watching you guys, like I also want to drift for Jesus, so I'm pretty excited about that. The Gunk is a game that still isn't out yet, right? It's out
today.
Soon. Today? Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I've been following that game for a bit. I love Image and Form. I've enjoyed the SteamWorld games. I really want to play that. And then Fights in Tight Spaces. I mean, we've talked about it as one of the best games that came out this year. And I have not. I mean, I got to play that through Parsec, so I've technically played that game.
I think you should play Fights first, man, because you've never really got to Forza Horizon 5, amazing, but you've played a Forza Horizon game before.
You're right. But also that would help me figure out, like, hey, is this thing worth anything? Does it feel just like playing Forza Horizon 4? Or does
I bet those cars look real good.
I bet they look real good. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Fights in Tight Spaces is the answer.
I think that's the move.
As much as I love that game, again, like I want to physically own that game. I want to play it, know that I'm playing my copy, and I'm not just getting a save file for Bobby through Parsec. So definitely, Bobby, what do you want to talk about? Persona 4 here? You want to talk about why you've got an anime game on your list?
Yeah, I mean, I want to play Persona 4. I think that I've played Persona 4 on my PC in this setting, and maybe it's just like the game feels a little... I mean, they've updated the graphics on it somewhat, but I think playing that in a handheld fashion might help me get past some of the age it has.
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure.
it's a game that I could probably like find myself kicking back with and putting some time into. It feels like more of a kickback game than like an upright game. And I think that would be a cool spot to check it out. So Persona 4.
Yeah. I mean, my first time playing Persona 4 was on the Vita with the golden version. I guess the PC version is also the golden one too. So yeah, that might be enough to get it over your issues with the PC one, the straight PC one.
I almost put Hades, but I realized I played a bunch of Hades in handheld mode on my Switch. So I decided I was like, Halo. I want to play Halo on a handheld thing locally.
You can do it right now, man. You can play it on your phone.
I said locally. I wanted to be there, physically on the thing.
Oh, so you want the physical version of Halo Infinite? Because I hear
thank you.
That doesn't work.
No. Yeah. So.
And then finally, gonna end it. We've looked back at 2021. Let's look ahead. 2022. What are we most anticipating in the year to come? For me, I have a hard time with this because I just aren't a ton of games that I'm super jazzed about that I know are coming out. There's lots of ones that I think are coming out. There should be a new Fire Emblem that comes out at some point next year. That Digimon Survive game is still technically in development from the last thing they said. That is something I would probably really want. But something I do know is supposed to come out in 2022, and that is Metal Slug Tactics, which
game looks cool as hell.
It does. I know the developer or publisher is owned by some people that we're not super into right now. We're not really happy with, but putting that aside, the game looks so fucking good. And I mean, I'm a sucker for tactics games, obviously, looking at the games that I talk about, but this one seems great. I want it. I want it real bad.
Me too.
I got Breath of the Wild 2. No surprises there.
Wow.
Chase put a tactics game down. Shocked.
It's true. That's true. I'm with you.
I put Elden Ring because Bobby says Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah. I am a little surprised, though, Bobby, that you didn't somehow say also Horizon
and God of War Ragnarok.
And also God of War.
Because whenever we say most anticipated game, I follow the rules, and I say game, I don't list 3 or 4 of them.
I didn't?
I'm just saying that's what I'm doing here. That's why that's why I'm doing just one, or else I would have absolutely said those things.
I mean, you're right. Your top 5 games of all time are only 5 games, and definitely not 10 games stuffed into your top 5 of all time.
Correct. It is absolutely that. Absolutely that.
We did it.
I'm spent.
Short podcast.
As we wrap up here, it'll be super brief, I promise, for you all. Come back Friday where we're going to be telling you about the top 10 games that we've been playing. It'll be a really good time. Johnny, Chase, thank you so much for putting the work in on helping.
We gotta run down the winners real quick. Sorry, Bobby. We gotta do it.
Okay.
I can do it real quick if you want.
Sure.
Okay. Our best moment or sequence went to realizing your diploma can only go in one place from unpacking. Our least moment was 12 minutes big plot twist. The best debut was Fights in Tight Spaces. The most disappointing game was Jet the Far Shore. Our overachiever of the year was... Did I cross out everything?
Halo Infinite.
There it is. Halo Infinite. Yeah, I didn't bold it on my list. Our touchy-feely of the year went to Unpacking. Our most impressive early access game went to Everspace 2. Our screenshot of the year was Drifting for Jesus. And then we just went over these individual categories. We don't need to run them again. But yeah, good looking thing. I know I had some harsh things, some contention around our best moment. But I think it's absolutely a good moment. I respect the choice. Respect where we got to.
Well, the real hardship will set in on Friday night at 10:30 when we come together to talk about our personal list and then try to piece together a proper top 10 for the casual hour. Please come back and hang out with us when you can. We will have more quick looks and other podcasts in the days to come. Chase and Johnny, as always, you're great partners. Thank you so much for getting the notes put together, maintaining the notes during the episode. This all worked out really well.
Yeah.
This is
nice job, production side.
Yeah. And we will be back Friday night. So please come and hang out. Take care, everybody.
See ya.